So now I want to take a look at adding what's called curtain walls into our project. And curtain walls are a tool that can be used for aluminum storefront glass types of systems or true curtain walls, tilt-up types of things on building. I've actually got one inserted in my floor plan right over here. This object here is my curtain wall object. And let me show you what it looks like from a 3D view and how I got there. So I'll switch to my 3D view. I'll scroll over here on my browser to the category for 3D views. Double click on 3D and it takes me to the 3D view of my model. And here's my curtain wall system. So this is one of the predefined types that came in with the project. So if I click on this object, you'll see that it's or if I hover over top of the object, you see it's actually a collection of objects. When I hover here, it's selecting the entire thing, but as I move around through the interior, you can actually see I can highlight individual mullions or individual glass panels as I'm moving around this object. So let me show you how I created this and how you can set up your own system, control the spacing, control where there's glass panels versus door panels. So we'll spend a few minutes to gain an understanding of this object. I placed this one object by using the wall tool. And I placed it well in the 3D view. I'll show you right here. You click on the wall tool and then it's just a matter of choosing the appropriate type from the list. Now we've added a whole bunch of walls so far. On this list down at the bottom are a collection of curtain wall types. And I'm going to use this bottom one, this one called storefront, because it has spacing rules built into it, controlling the distance between mullions horizontally and vertically and determining the size of mullions. So a lot of the work is done for us already. So I'll show you, demonstrate with this tool. I'll click on the storefront. Again, look at all the different options that you have available for drawing straight segments or curved and all that kind of stuff. And here's the controls for heights, just as we had with any other wall. It's starting at level 1, going up to level 2 in this case. I'll change it so it's going up to level 3, following along the same options that we looked at before for location line, although that doesn't apply with curtain walls, you'll notice. Chain and offset. And then I'm going to move in my 3D view over top of the wall that's already there. And I know when I'm over top of the wall because the little dashed line, you see it pop up as I'm moving my mouse. There it is, there it is, there it is. It pops up. And once I move over top of that location, it allows me to draw one wall over top of another. And this particular curtain wall type is designed so that when you draw one wall over top of another, it automatically cuts the hole in the other wall. So let me do that for you. I'll click here to start drawing. I've got distance and angle controls while I'm drawing. I'll just make it some arbitrary length here and click. And if I was right over top, it cuts the hole in the wall. I hit escape and there's my curtain wall system. When you move over top of the object now, I'll be able to highlight the entire thing. It looks like it's highlighting the opening. That allows me to select the curtain wall, and I get grips to make changes here in the 3D view. I could also do this from an elevation view. So as I am clicking on the grips, notice the object is adjusting. It's adding and removing mullions based on the overall dimension. If I click on this one and slide it back a little bit, it removes mullions. Click on it, drag it to make it a little bit longer. It adds additional mullions again because of those spacing rules that are built into the object. But rather than just using this particular object type, I think it's important to gain an understanding of what's going on behind the scenes. This object can be one of the more challenging objects simply because there are lots of overlapping pieces of geometry and we need to learn how to get to each of those subcomponents of this object. So let me take you through that whole series of tools by starting from the most generic version of curtain walls. I'll pan off to the side and I'm going to click on the wall tool. I'll just use this opportunity to save my project since that popped up. And now I'm into the Add Wall tool again, and I'm going to choose a different curtain wall off the list, this one called Curtain Wall 1. This one looks quite a bit different than the last one. This is really just a single sheet of glass. It doesn't have any mullions at any particular spacing, it's just one sheet of glass. So you start with this and then carve it up in each direction. So I'm just going to click an arbitrary start point on screen so I can demonstrate. Click an arbitrary endpoint and hit escape to get out of that, and I've got this one big sheet of glass that I can start to divide up into multiple segments. To divide this item up into multiple segments, you have to use a series of tools that are found on the Home tab of the ribbon. Okay, right here next to the walls or near the walls, there's options here for creating curtain grids and mullions. Now you don't want to use this tool yet, this one called Curtain System. That's a tool for when you start with freeform modeling, as the preview shows pretty well over there. The freeform modeling, so you can convert freeforming surfaces into a curved glass aluminum type system. So we're not going through that one right now. What we want to use is the next tool down called Curtain Grid. This allows you to slice up that curtain wall into multiple pieces. Again, as the graphic is showing there. So let me show you how you use this. Now you can do this from elevation views or from 3D views. I'll do it for a moment here from the 3D view, and I'll switch back to elevation view at some point in time. Click on curtain grid and then look at all the different options that we have here. There's options called all segment, one segment, and all except picked. I'll show you all three variations. So I'll start with the first one, all segments. If I want to add a mullion that's running vertically, you move over the top of or bottom edge to choose the position along that edge. So if I wanted to add a mullion basically right in the middle of this overall length, I just have to move along, and you can see the line projecting on the screen that indicates where the grid line will be placed. As you are moving along, let me just spin around a little bit further. As you are moving along, notice the dimensions. Okay, it snaps based on those temporary dimensions. But the program also finds the exact midway point along the length. So 14'3", 14'3" there, it found that midpoint. So if I click, that grid line is added exactly at that point. Not only does it find midway points, it also finds points that are 1/3 along the length. So if I move here and here, that 4'9" and whatever the other dimension is, those dimensions are at 1/3 along the way. So by using halves or thirds, you can easily divide this up into whatever pattern you want. So if I click there, divide the next one in half, I now have 3 equal panels on that side. And again, over here, the same thing, 3 equal panels on that side. It makes it really easy to do that. If you weren't after halves or thirds, you can just move wherever you want and choose the spacing. But also notice those temporary dimensions on the screen. You can click on them at any point in time to change the position of this grid line. And notice I didn't call it mullion at this stage. There is no mullion there. All I basically did was cut through the glass. It's just a line that is, over top of that object. So if I zoom in a little tighter, okay, you can just see a little line there. There is no mullion at that location. It's just a division line through that glass. Later on, we will attach our mullions to those division lines.
Hi, I'm Jeff from Retrieve Technologies. I hope you enjoyed that clip. It's just a small part of a training manual we've put together for this product. You can buy the training manual individually, or you can buy it as part of a course. In the course, you would have the training manual. You'd also have a exercise V-book, which contains activities or exercises for you to try to see if you're understanding the concepts that are being covered in the training manual. We have the Frequently Asked Questions book, and that is just content that may not have been covered in the training manuals. And finally, we have the exam, which is a way to see if you're understanding the concepts that are being taught in the training manuals and in the exercises, kind of evidence of learning. If you're an individual user and you're looking to purchase these training manuals or courses, you're going to go to our website at retrievemedia.com and just scroll through the site and look for the information or V-books that you're looking for. If you're someone looking for corporate pricing, we again encourage you to look through our site to see what we have available. And then once you found what you're looking for, send us an email at sales@retrievemedia.com and we'll get back to you with some more information and a price quote.